All right, let's see. How long ago was it that I made that post? Uh, yeah, so this storytime video has been something long in the making that I've kind of neglected to actually finish or make up until now. But don't worry, it's finally here. I mean, of course, it did take a year and a few months, but it's here. So, without the way, let's get on with the video. So it was around 2012 when the Wii U was released, and I really had no interest in it. I will admit that I was a bit interested in some of the new games on the Wii U, like Mario Party. Sorry, not Mario Party, the new Mario game, and at the time, Breath of the Wild, because I hadn't played a Legends of Zelda game in a long time. A lot of friends might be suggesting it, but like I just never really got into it. So flash forward, and 3 years have passed. It's like 2015, and I barely get home from elementary school. I went to my living room and sat down on my couch, and I turned on the TV. I was waiting for like some commercials to, finish because I wasn't really paying attention that much. But then all of a sudden, I'm blessed with this commercial, and I'm pretty sure some of you are familiar with it, but it is the Splatoon Squid Kid commercial. You know, the Splat the World Together. Um, I'm not gonna try and sing it or anything. I mean, I'll play some footage in the background so you guys can see and get an idea what I'm talking about. But it was basically this commercial that really introduced me into Splatoon. Even if it was like just 30 seconds, it already had me hooked on Splatoon and the Wii U. Like, look at it. Like, I don't know. It was really eye catching as a kid for me. You know, the music, the visuals, the painting, the whole concept of it. I was on board the Wii U train, and I was actually hyped to get myself a Wii U. Except I was a bit puzzled because I didn't know anything about the Wii U. So the following day, I decided to go to my school and ask my classmates who had a Wii U if they've played Splatoon and what they thought about it. Now, to my surprise, they said they hadn't played it, but they told me not to bother with the game, with how weird it looked and how it didn't make sense to them. And I was a bit shocked at first hearing some of my classmates and friends say that about a game because I was really into it, but I guess they just didn't see the appeal, and I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't be into this. But I didn't give in, okay? I stood strong, and if I liked it, I liked it. So I went ahead and decided for myself that I would get the game and the Wii U, play it for myself, and decide if I liked the game. So after school, I got home and waited for both my parents to get home as well. And when they did, I had asked them the question if I could have a Wii U for Christmas. Now, both of them were confused as to why I wanted a new Wii U because at the time I had myself a Wii, but I had explained to them that there was this new game I wanted and it was only available on the new console. Again, they both didn't understand, but they said they'd think about it. So, flash forward a few weeks, and I had asked my parents what if they had thought about it. And would you believe me if I said they were going to say yes? Well, unfortunately, you and younger me were completely wrong. You see, my parents told me I wasn't really ready to handle the responsibilities of a new console, especially one like this, because, well, at the time, I was a bit reckless and didn't really know how to take proper care of my electronics. For example, my brother and I both had a 3DS that we shared, and gotta say, I had some fond memories of playing on the 3DS, especially Animal Crossing, except I wasn't really patient with it. You see, I'd often run out the battery and end up using the 3DS while I was charging, which is highly not recommended because while doing so, I messed up the charging port. And, well, you're probably thinking, why didn't they just buy a new one? Well, money wasn't something we could spend on a whim, and they saw I was not, you know, responsible or didn't handle it with care, so they figured, why bother wasting another 350 on getting our son a replacement 3DS if he's just going to end up breaking it again? And that's reasonable parenting because you gotta teach your children young to like take care of their belongings and not break them. So it was a responsible thing, and I was a bit bummed out. So I did the next best thing, and that was watching YouTubers play the game. At the time, I watched YouTubers like Zach Scott Games and Swimming Bird. I gotta say, I was really entertained, and you know, how should I say? I guess I was infatuated, like with watching their gameplay, because while I wasn't able to play the game myself at the time, I was able to watch other YouTubers play it and enjoy it as much as I felt like I would enjoy it. And I gotta say, it did really help for that time. As time passed, I eventually forgot about Splatoon and my hopes of getting a Wii U, because life had other plans. And I was struggling in school, so I didn't really have time to catch up with everything. So, we flash forward again into the year, and I'm graduating from elementary school. At the time, that was when the Switch was already out, and most of my classmates already had it. I myself didn't have I almost said Wii U. I didn't have a Switch, but that was until I graduated. Because you see, my parents figured that I was old enough, responsible, and since I graduated elementary school, they felt like I deserved my own Nintendo Switch. And, I did. I mean, not that I did, but I mean, like, I meant I did end up getting a Nintendo Switch, and I enjoyed it. For the first time in a long while, I had my own gaming console, and I was playing games I enjoyed because I missed out on a lot of games at the time. We only had an Xbox, so whatever games were available on the Xbox or whatever games we had, that was the only thing we could play. So right now, I was just, I don't know, I guess as ecstatic, excited. You guys know what I mean. And I was playing Mario Kart because that was the only game that it came with. And I'd be playing it almost every day with some restrictions and limits because my parents didn't want me playing it on it 24/7. So I'm playing Mario Kart. I eventually get bored of it because I pretty much finished everything that there was to do on Mario Kart. I got most of the trophies, most of the carts and accessories, but that was the only game I had on the Nintendo Switch. Now, you'd figure that since I have a Nintendo Switch at the time, I'd do some proper research and see what games are available for it. Except I didn't. I don't know why, but I guess it was like a really dumb choice not to actually search what games would be available on the Nintendo Switch. So I just got whatever games that I'd catch a glance on the commercials or on TV or from what my friends said. But I rarely ever saw commercials for games on the Nintendo Switch. So one day we head to our local GameStop since my brother had saved up enough money to get a game he wanted. When we got there, I decided to go to the Nintendo section because, as any GameStop is like laid out nowadays, you have Nintendo on one side, PlayStation and Xbox next to it, and in the back you just have some of the merchandise. Or at least that's how our local GameStop was laid out. So as I'm checking out the Nintendo section, I'm looking at the games they have. You see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, already got that. Arms, interesting, might get that. Let's see, Snipper Clips. That game looks fun. I tried the demo, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to get the whole game. And as I was looking around the shelf, I decided to look up, and lo and behold, I saw the game case for Splatoon 2. And all of a sudden, all the memories just keep flashing back to me. It's like looking at that one game case, and the whole cover art just suddenly reminded me of everything I enjoyed about Splatoon and this game series or franchise I had long forgotten. So I eagerly stood up on my tippy toes, reached for the game case, and started checking it out. Like, what? I had no idea they made a second game. Where has this been all my life? Is what I was going was what was going through my head. So I pick it up, I read the back, and I took the game to my parents, asked if I could get it, and they said I could only if I had been paying with my own money. And luckily for me, I did have my own money to pay with, so I got the game. As soon as we got home, I made a beeline to my room, picked up my Nintendo Switch, took out the game card for Mario Kart, and popped in Splatoon 2. And I gotta say, the joy and excitement I was feeling, it was just like a complete rush, like a dream come true. I was doing something that younger me had been wanting to do for years, and that was play Splatoon. Of course, it wasn't the first game, but it was the second one, and it would be just as great as it. And from then on, I just didn't stop playing Splatoon. It was like my number one comfort game at the time. You see, I played it 24/7. I'd play it in car rides, I'd play it in my room, I'd play it at school, and then get my Switch back. I'd play it at parties. I enjoyed it. I was enjoying the game to my heart's content. Within the first 2 days of having the game, I completed the story mode. Of course, there was a lot of trial and error because I kept dying, but it's all part of the learning process. Being able to be a part of the Splatoon community it's an amazing experience, is what I'm trying to say. I did join late. I think the most recent Splatfest that had happened at the time was sci-fi versus fantasy. But from then on, I was able to, participate in Splatfest and, you know, pick a side, do all the things that I had wanted to do or missed out on. And, well, it was just the best. And then Splatoon 3 came out. For a while, I had always pondered on the thought of making Splatoon content because at the time, I had really been into the whole idea of being a content creator and helping out other people. Now, I know it's like a bit ridiculous or funny to say, but I don't know. It's just at the time, I just felt like those two YouTubers really helped me out when I wasn't really able to enjoy something. Watching them play Splatoon and have fun, it made me feel like I was playing the game myself. And I wanted to share that feeling too with everyone else. So eventually, I saved up enough money to buy myself a capture card and I started recording gameplay videos. From here on, I kept growing my channel and making more Splatoon content. It's been a wild ride, and it's been interesting and fun too. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, but you know, it's been fun. And that is the story of how I got into Splatoon. Thank you all for listening. I'm sorry it took me so long to make this storytime video because I wasn't really satisfied with how I had made it at the time. You know, originally I had written a script and I had read it out loud to my microphone and listened back, but I just wasn't really satisfied with how I shared my experience or how I felt. It all just didn't really feel right. But I wanted to make sure that I provided the best for you guys because, your support means a lot to me. So, anyways, thank you all for listening. My name is Citri, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.